Two games, two verdicts. One split the fan base in half. The other tried to rebuild it from the ground up. Sonic Unleashed, a game of ambition, of spectacle, of risk. Sonic Lost World, a game searching for an identity, for direction, for purpose. And now we arrive at the one everyone agrees on. The safe one, the good one. The game that saved Sonic. Sonic Colors. No werehog. No gimmicks that overstay their welcome. Just speed, style, and wisps. But here's the question no one really asks. Is Sonic Colors great? Or is it just great by comparison? For the next hour, I'm breaking it all down. Every world, every mechanic, every strength, and every flaw. Because after Unleashed Ambition and Lost World's identity crisis, this isn't just another Sonic game. This is the verdict. And with that context, hello watching family! It's been an eternity since the last video, and that's because I was at a Chuka. Yeah, you guys remember a Chuka?
Everyone here calls it the piss off.
But yeah, anyways, I'm back to bless us all with another Wet Scene hour-long special. The last two have been loads of fun to make, and by loads of fun, I mean days filled with me sitting in my room alone with nobody to keep me company as I wither away like an old depressed man, missing out on quality time with friends as the fucking guest voice just sit back and critique my videos. Like, shut up, I don't have to add you in the video, you know! But who cares? It's all for the love of the game. I mean, I haven't even looked at my analytics in a whole 11 minutes. Who cares if my last video got like 1 view? Anyways, enough goofing around. Sonic Lost World was found out to be a fraud and sucked! Sonic Unleashed was and still is my favourite Sonic game of all time, because the story and the gameplay just mesh so well together. It's a bit worse because of Chip though. I know someone who fucking hates Chip. Anyway, we looked at a bad game and a good game, but legend has it there's another tier to this Sonic game rankings. The great games. So after 10 seconds of thinking, I've decided to tackle Sonic Colors. I mean, Sonic Colors is often referred to as the savior to Sonic. What really got him back on his feet after... Ew. Sonic 06. So today, I want to highlight this game and its mechanics, levels, and story. In this video, we will be discussing Sonic Colors, delving deep into the fundamentals of the game, and answering the age-old question, is Sonic Colors good, or is it just considered good because the other games suck ass and dick? Before we begin though, I would really appreciate if you subscribed. It makes me happy if you do. I don't care about the views or likes or anything, but just the subs. And onwards to the video. We begin with... Wait, what? There's no cutscene explaining what we're doing. We're just thrown into the first level with zero context. That honestly feels weird. I don't really like that we just skip the introduction and go straight into the game. Oh yeah, we got that cinematic of Sonic and Tails and what looks to be Sperm running as the intro with that shitty music on top. But it doesn't explain what's going on at all. I'm not really sure why the game does this. It doesn't seem to be like a thing they would just forget, but it can't be intentional because that's just stupid. So I'm not sure why we are missing the background context for what the game's all about. But moving on, we start off at Tropical Resort Act 1. And it's a cakewalk. We get introduced to the many recycled mechanics from Unleashed, like grind railing, jumping, and most importantly, boosting! In Unleashed, you got boost from rings, and could level that up for getting XP. Though, Sonic Colors has one of the most outlasting mechanics that made it stand out, and this is the Wisps. The Wisps revolutionized the Sonic franchise, bringing in a new set of power-ups and identity to the Sonic franchise. It made the game feel fresh and exciting. There's a lot of them to go through, but I'll just name them here. There's White Boost, Gigatron, Zip Zap, Blue Cube, Green Hover, Pink Spikes, Purple Frenzy, and Orange Wisp. Each granting their own special abilities to help Sonic in this journey. But I'll explain those when they come up in the levels. But right now, the only Wisp we have seen is the White Boost Wisp. And they charge your boost meter in this game, and can be collected in different ways, such as in pods, or simply just killing enemies. I think this is cool, but it doesn't really matter to me at all, or matters to anyone, because it doesn't change the gameplay like at all. I guess you could argue that they're more scarce than the rings, but it's not a big deal. It will take a lot of time to get used to though, because when you grab rings and don't get anything, it's a bit weird. Though, it's fine I guess. The actual level has us going through space, passing by amusement park rides like a Ferris wheel. It reminds me a lot of the last level, before the 2 final bosses in Sonic Unleashed, where you're just infiltrating Eggman's building. Except this one is a lot more outside. You can even see the Earth in the background, which leads to a cool backdrop. I think this level works quite well as a tutorial for what the game has in store, but can already feel that there's going to be a lot more to this game. So let's move on to Act 2. We still have no context on why we're here. Sure though, let's continue. The level carries the same theme as last time, where we're just passing by this sort of space station like area, crashing into any enemies we can with our new boost. Oh, and I forgot to mention this small change with the boost. It makes you go significantly slower. And it's rainbow. How delightful. This is a horrible change, and not just my opinion, but everybody's. I can't express how dumb it is to make Sonic this slow. Maybe game theory was right. This is probably because the game came out on the Wii, so it couldn't handle all the things being loaded at once. But even the port to the next gen consoles was like this. So there was zero excuses. As you can see in the footage, because the footage I'm using is from the remake, because the original looks like this. They even shaved down the open-ended sections. No more can you run like the wind in a massive savannah. Now you're stuck in this slightly widened road I can only compare to a sandpit. This is a massive glow down in terms of what Unleashed had to offer, and that game is older. This level uses quite a lot of side scrollers to make up time in the level, and often you'll go on these sideways loop-de-loop like things where you have to run around a post or something to unlock a new path for you to keep going. They seem to love to spam these a lot, but after enduring that level for a while, we get treated to some context on what we are doing in space. Apparently Sonic and Tails went to go investigate this massive space station that Eggman made, though they found out Eggman has built an amusement park with 5 planets connecting it. And after the first 2 levels, Tails is starting to question if Eggman is really turning over a new leaf, though Sonic is more focused on the view than Tails. Doesn't it look so great? And we find out how they ended up getting into the space station. Eggman has built a massive elevator that takes you all the way up to the park that spans down to Earth. But as Tails and Sonic get distracted, they notice the 2 Eggman comic relief henchmen trying to capture these wisps. Sonic goes back to being the hero of the story and saves the wisp swiftly. And in return, they try to mate with Sonic and get inside with him. And we get a sneak peek of the first real wisp power we get to use. And finally, we get a world map showing that currently we're in the resort part of the park. But there's other planets that we still have to explore, though they aren't unlocked yet. So for the time being, we will stick to the resort. And once we actually enter the world, we get shown this small linear-based map of all the acts in this world, and we're able to begin Act 3. Act 3 begins simply, just like the other 2 levels, but quickly shifts to show off the first wisp power, which is our old buddy Zip Zap from Lost World. He works basically the same, making you able to aim where you want him to take you, and goes further depending on if you hit these cyan crystals, which like recharge him or something along those lines. They also show off that his ability can kill rows of enemies without even using the crystals. The crystals, in my opinion, are mostly used to just be cinematic for Sonic, to like ricochet off in a tough and cool way, but I don't know. Personally, this level seems to be like a tame tutorial for the new Wisp. I feel like this first one was a bit more slow paced than I'd like to admit. It's really just to teach you how to play the game, and hopefully by the end it will be pretty challenging. But since when has a Sonic game been hard? So it might just be the same difficulty throughout it, which would suck total ass. But what can you really expect from a Sonic the Hedgehog game? Man, I don't even like Sonic. How did I end up in this dead-end job? This video's been pretty shit so far, so we really need to make a comeback here. That's why we have the Wet Sheen guest voices to spice it up a little bit. I want it to be a surprise who's in this one though, so I won't name them or say when they're coming in. But we've got an all-star lineup today, that's all I can say. And to start us off strong, we have Darren! Go on then!
Yeah, calm down, it's me, Deza. I've appeared on yet another Wet Sheen video as a guest star again. But at this rate, I should just be considered a Wet Sheen legend. Even if I'm on holiday, I still appear on a Wet Sheen video. Because I like this channel, just as much as mine. Anyway, this level is straight ass! It lost like 10 seconds! It has nothing worthwhile in the slightest. Sheen gave me straight shit as a level. But who better than me to complain? I'm just sick and tired of these stupid filler levels. If I'm spending upwards of $50 for a game, I want it to be complete. Not of these shitty filler levels that don't add anything to the actual game in the slightest. Like I said, it lasts under a minute. We have to reuse footage for this segment. When does Sheen ever use footage twice? It just goes to show how low the bar has gone. You used to pay small sums of money to play a complete game that had levels and are equally good. I miss when games did this, and I know you all did too. I think I speak for everyone when I say game companies have really dropped the ball in terms of, well, every factor of the game nowadays. I think it's safe to say that this level is shit. I fucking hate this level with all my heart. If this level was a small animal, I would punt it. There is nothing to write home about at all. I mean, what am I supposed to do? You gave me such an ass level. You expect me to make content out of this? What kind of man do you take me for? Obviously, you know, someone with my fame will never talk about such shit of a fucking level. This has brought the first world down significantly. And it's not looking good. Normally, games get harder the longer you play them. But this has just gotten easier. I don't understand why the game does this though. It's just a no-brainer to make the levels harder. But they made the most bare-bones like test level they will be making at the beginning of the game's development. This has been very disappointing so far. If the game keeps this shit up, then this might be worse than Lost World. At least someone as great as me is able to shine light on how awful this level has been. I'm sick and tired of this. The game isn't putting any effort, and it impacts not just the level, but the whole game and its reputation. This is a disgrace to the Sonic franchise, a stain on their career. The level starts with you running in 3D. Then it spams 2D sections for 20 seconds. Then it ends. Like a child cancer patient's life. It's way too short. There's nothing, and I mean nothing, to show in the 4th level. Do you remember what the 4th level was in Lost World? The boss. In Unleashed, it was the boss lined up with my segment. All these different Act 4s, and this one is the worst by far. This is the most forgettable, shit, garbage, backwater bilge level in the game. I know nothing can be as bad as this, because this is just like the worst level I could have fucking done. I can't imagine a level worse than this. Nothing new to show for it. Lack of an actual level. No wisps. Barely enemies. There's zero to talk about. I'd rather drown in rock candy than look at this any longer. The only worthwhile thing that actually happens in this dumpster fire of a fucking level is that we get a fucking cutscene at the end. It's about Tails trying to understand the sperm wisps, whatever the fuck they are. Sonic comes back to relay that these wisps actually give him powers for a couple seconds and then pop out of him. Though Tails doesn't believe him because he's the boring, smart, nerd geek character. Fuck you, Tails. But at least Tails is better than Chip. And now Sonic and Tails are set to stopping Eggman. Thank you, Wet Sheen, for putting me back in yet another video. I knew I'd come back, but you know, it was nice to hear it from someone else. And please, sub to Deza and Deza too.
Okay, I mean, he wasn't wrong with that level being so bunt and it's a huge step in the wrong direction, and I can only hope they steer back on track. But anyways, the next level begins with us using a new wisp power. Wow! Hooray! This one makes us turn to a green floating ghost and float through walls and floors. I think they just added this mechanic early on so they could spice up the platforming throughout the game, because holy, it's been stale so far. It's just been a small 2D segment into a 3D walk, then platforming into the end. It's so repetitive and especially showed that last level. But since his ability kinda makes up for it, it's alright for what it is. I don't see much innovation happening though. They could really only use it for one type of puzzle. It could do wonders if they use it properly. But all in all, this level doesn't really seem to have too much to offer. And since the next level is basically the same, I'll just put them together. They don't have much to offer other than the new wisp power, especially Act 6 is lacking. Because guess what? It's all 2D. What is this? Sonic Jam on the game.com? I bought a 3D Sonic game, not a 2D one. What's even the point in this if you're just going to be an intermission level? Just skip to the boss if you're going to be a bastard like that. I can't even wrap my head around what the devs were thinking. You're just plain lazy and shit for a fully fledged game. We're in the first world and I'm already hating on it because it's so stupid that they've given us 3 straight levels that sucked ass and were way too short. Okay, I'm confused and mad at this game right now, so I need a break. So let's go back to another all-star from the Wet Sheen lineup. Except this guy's kind of a bum. He's infertile, he's tall, it's Marco. Fucking hurry up.
Hello, Wet Sheen family! I'm so glad to be back on the Wet Sheen channel for a second appearance. I guess I made a pretty lasting impression, eh? Last time I talked about Sonic Unleashed and how Chip, despite being the most hated person in the game, I actually was able to find some light in his dark, gloomy heart. Even though bums like Hamish or Darren didn't like him in the slightest, I actually have a little heart, unlike those idiots. I mean, hell, Chip's name is literally Light Geiger. Why did no one else give him a chance? But anyways, I've been brought back, and I'm gonna make it count! The boss fight for the Tropical Resort is us fighting a Ferris wheel we've been seeing in the background of each level. I think this is a pretty cool niche reference that you wouldn't notice until a second playthrough. He makes it hard for you to get up to his center by warping the platforms and spinning quickly to throw you off your game. But once you outsmart him and grab the laser whip power at the top of the wheel, you need to aim into his center to ricochet off him, which will deal little chips of damage per bounce. And guess what? That's the whole level! Yeah, this boss takes one hit. What the fuck, dude? This is such a buns decision, and not just my opinion, but literally everyone's. Time and time again, this game is proving there's nothing but shitty filler throughout. The first 3 levels were good, but the second half of it seems like a whole different team of devs. I feel like this second half of the world was made by a college student learning how to code. They all feel like test stages, not fully fledged levels in a huge game. I don't want to play some stupid student's final project. I want to play a real game that I paid for. This game is worse than Epstein. I mean, the boss looks pretty promising. The potential was there, but it just falls completely flat after one hit. I feel like Toby on Lost World when he had to talk about Master Zeke taking one hit. I feel you, bro. Normally, I'd end it here. But guess what? We get a cutscene afterwards. At least they added something for me to talk about. In this cutscene, Tails has kinda made a translator, but sometimes it just says gibberish. And we find out that Eggman is capturing an entire species of Wisps and has invaded their homes on planet Wisp and turned it into an amusement park. Which, like, dude, I kinda feel bad for them. They're just these little guys and have been invaded by a guy named Eggman. But they get used to power an amusement park, an entire species enslaved for human pleasure. It's such a sad sight. I think I can speak for everyone when I say I want justice for the Wisps. Especially the ones that look like sperm. They get juiced the most because that's their whole power. Is that they hold energy. Their species is so scarce now that they're either being juiced and killed or trapped in capsules in the levels. They were just minding their own business and got taken over. Thankfully, Sonic and Tails vow to free the Wisps from their enslavement and save their species from going extinct. And finally, destroy the amusement park Eggman has built. Finally, we have some stakes. I actually am able to care about the world they've built over the past few levels and can be invested in the story, because for this first world, it's mostly been a blur. Having 3 eggy levels and the good ones being pretty easy, this world has been totally forgettable. I hope and pray to God that the next world steps it up, not only in difficulty, but in gameplay as well. Maybe even sprinkle some better story-driven segments to sweeten the deal. This boss, which was so arse, actually was able to be turned around a bit by the huge lore drop in this cutscene. But we are still here for the game, not the Sonic Colors all cutscene YouTube video. And I can say with full confidence, this is the worst first world we've seen in the games. Maybe even running for the worst world of all time. It's that bad. We keep mentioning it, but half of the world is basically unfinished. There's little to no engagement in the platforming or difficulty. The music is completely forgettable. The only saving grace is the cutscene shown in this world. And even then, they're just doing the bare minimum for a game, introducing the huge problem we have to solve. I could even say that Lost Worlds has a better beginning than this, because at least with that game, we got context and new gameplay types. Anyway, I'm done now. Thanks Machine, bye!
Thanks, I guess. Marco kind of waffled on for an eternity. I don't really know what to think about that. But all in all, this has been extremely disappointing. It started off decent at first, but just wasn't able to deliver the bare minimum in terms of difficulty or engagement. As Marco said, this might be in the running for the worst world in Sonic history. The sheer lack of difference between the levels is not appreciated at all. But anyways, enough dunking on a world, let's move on to World 2. Immediately, this world presents itself in a much better way. Gone is the boring monotone music, and back is the upbeat catchy beats from Sonic games. And the platforming is a lot more open-ended, just like Sonic Unleashed, which everyone likes, because everyone likes Sonic Unleashed. I don't care what you say, I will die on that hill. Just these two things have made all the difference, due to the last one being so boring and dragged. This level introduces a new Wisp power though, but this one isn't new on the Wet Sheen channel either. It's Gigatron, our old pal from Sonic Lost World. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the world's theme. The whole world is centered around sweetness and lollies to make up the world. I'm like half sure that the dirt beneath the ground is actually just cake batter. As on the world map, when you hover over this place, Eggman says, "Go to this place for one of your birthday parties," because of the amount of cake here. I can only infer that he means the ground beneath. Though I'm probably looking too much into it, because I really like food, and it doesn't really matter in the slightest. The whole level has us dodging giant pods being shot at us at this facility looking area built off the Natural Sweet Kingdom. I'm starting to realize that the world we find New Wisp is their home world. Most likely why the ground is cake mix, because it's so easy to drill into like Gigatron does. And the main resort is dim but with brighter lights, like a laser, to show up for Zip Zap or Cyan Laser. That's his actual name. The ghost doesn't really fit into anything though. I guess he's just kind of here. Same for that stupid sperm looking wisp who keeps following us around. He can't even speak English, what an idiot! The white wisp is one of the most baffling design and gameplay decisions Sega ever made in Sonic Colors, and deserves to be roasted. And deserves to be killed. First of all, why does it exist at all? Sonic Colors spends the entire game advertising Wisp's creative, situational power-ups that replace the boost mechanic. Lasers, drills, rockets, hovering, cool, distinct ideas. Then the white Wisp shows and goes, actually, never mind, here's more boost. It completely undercuts the whole design philosophy. If boost is so important that Sonic needs it, then don't pretend you replace it. Either commit it or don't.
It's iced tea. If you're thirsty, well then you'll drink it. If you're not, don't.
And visually, come on, let's not dance around it. It's a floating, pale, translucent, single-eyed creature with a rounded head and a trailing tail. It's absolutely, unmistakably looks like a cartoon sperm cell. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Every time it pops up, the dramatic music kicks in and Sonic grabs that. It's impossible to take seriously. For a game dripping with bright, expressive alien designs, this thing looks like a wander from a biology textbook. What makes it worse is that it's boring. Other Wisps meaningfully change how you play. But the Y-Wish just says, hold button, go fast. That's it. No creativity, no puzzle twist, no interesting risk or reward factor. It's a nostalgic crutch massacring as a new idea. The game literally locks Sonic identities behind a new goose-grabbing blob instead of letting Sonic be Sonic. So you end up with a Wish that breaks their own game, that breaks the game's concept, a design that looks unintentionally ridiculous, and a mechanic that adds nothing new. The Y-Wish isn't clever, isn't unnecessary, and isn't even visually defined. It's a reminder that Sega couldn't fully let go of Bruce, so they stuffed it into a flying, glowing, one-eyed sperm and hoped no one would say anything. Unfortunately for it, here we are. Anyways, let's move on to Act 2. Act 2. Act 2 is able to give us a better look at all the sweet themed areas in this world. My hypothesis of the ground being cake mix was correct. As you can see, it looks to be a 7-layer cake. Most likely act as trees. We get to be in the same type of open sections like Unleashed, where we can drift and go basically where we want, which I really like. To be perfectly honest, this is a huge, and I mean huge, step in the right direction. The whole level is centered around climbing up this massive, like, quintuple cheeseburger. It's the size of a mountain and is a really creative idea that works really well in this type of world. It meshes well into the theme of the game and is also just awesome. The devs must have really not cared about World 1, because if they keep it up like this, I can guarantee I'll like this game just as much as Unleashed. Though, that's a very high bar because it's so peak.
Uh-oh, that Switch just released some Eggman robots!
Thank you, Tails. What would I do without you? But I think this climbing up the burger as if it's a tower is sick. Going fast speeds, just killing every button site, going up and down these ground rails, it's so cool. This is what Sonic is all about. Being this speed demon that destroys everything you can see. Having zero cares in the world. It brings me back to good memories of Sonic. Act 3 is more of the same. Instead, it's more like Act 1, though, focusing on the machinery part of the world. And get introduced to our new Wisp power, Orange Rocket, or as we call it, Gibbleton. I don't know why we call it that, but that's what Tobingle called it. And it's used for us to collect secret rings. It doesn't really serve as much as a purpose as I'd like, but I don't know why they wanted it to debut on a level that barely even uses it. You only see it once in the whole level and it's barely utilized to its full potential. I think they should have waited for a more vertical based level like Act 2 to introduce it. This level does not need it in the slightest. The only thing up there was an extra life and more rings, which was so useless. I don't even want to show footage of it, but the rings were in the shape of stars for some reason. I don't even really know what to think about that. It kind of just baffles me that they wasted the debut of it on a random spontaneous level without giving it much of a purpose. It must have been like a last second decision. I feel like it shouldn't be here. I hate it so much. I hate it more than fucking Tarnix. Okay, this board has been alright, but I've been basically just repeating myself over and over like a broken record. So I think it's good to bring in the next guest voice. There's a lot of people who could do this one, but I think we should pick Leo. He normally goes first, so it's weird to have him not this early on. But alas, continue Leo.
Hello, I am back! It feels good to be back and get another Wet Sheen hour-long special. It has been so long since the last one, so I'm glad to be back. From what I've heard, Sonic Colors is meant to be the best game in the franchise, although Sheen, Marco, and Deza don't seem to agree. So now I've got mixed signals, because I have the millions of Mega Sonic fans, or 3 of my dumb friends, which only one of them knows anything about Sonic. Of course I'm gonna go with my friends, because who do you think I am? And case in point, this really isn't much of a level. It begins fine, but then quickly falls off, because the whole level is centered around you using these buttons to move these laser walls, and it is painfully slow. It is a really boring level, and tell me what idiot wants to press a button for a full second, walk past the lasers, and then do it all again. I get it that they're trying to use new mechanics, but holy airball! They spam it so many times that it becomes stale by the 4th time. Like, the thing is, you cannot use a mechanic like this to fill up a whole level. You need level design. You can't expect a new mechanic to pick up the slack for your shitty level design. I have some experience in game design myself, so I know that this is really a quite horrible level. I can say wholeheartedly that this is poor, especially for a company like Sega, because they have so much history of pretty good game design behind them. So you'd think they'd be able to do decently well, but this is just plain garbage. I'm not sure why the game keeps doing this, but it seems like the first 3 acts of a world are great, and then it just falls right down into shit for the remaining 3 acts of the world, making the second half of the act honestly unbearable to play. It's hard to tell exactly why they do this. If they were going to do this for every single world, and at least make sure that they spread the good acts across the world instead of starting great and then making the second half of it terrible. I have no idea what the millions of Sonic fans are talking about when they say this game is great, because we must be talking about a different game here. There is no way we're looking at the same things. The only decent part of this level, between the dreadful walls of lasers and individual buttons, is that you occasionally, and I mean occasionally, get to grind rail and platform on top of enemies. And dude, what do you expect me to say? The lack of a level really holds me back from talking about the level, because it's just all the same. There's also no cutscenes in this level, which leads me to ask, what the hell happened to the cutscenes, because we haven't seen one in literally ages. All we got is the sperm wisp, whose name is Yakka. He was sent on the wrong path from birth, dude, because that's a comeback nobody could save. I mean, Yakka being your name, paired with the fact that you literally resemble sperm. You got all the bad genes and the worst name on Earth. They don't even have a mouth. And the funny part is, all of us come together in all of these videos to make fun of one character exclusive to the game, like Zomom in Lost World and Chip in Unleashed. Though, unlike Chip, Zomom was actually a comeback character, and we love him because he's miles better than Chip. Chip doesn't even show off how fat he is. It's like he's not proud to be fat. Zomom knows he's fat and he's loud and proud. What a goat. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. We're here for Sonic Colors, which to my understanding is about as useless as a can of dehydrated water, and at this point, a shitty rundown car would be faster than Sonic in this level. If I could choose to play this level again, I would pass 1,000 times out of 100. It is that awful. I can't even feel sorry for this game anymore. They planted their nest, and now they have to bear sitting it. But since this is a massive review, I hope for Wet Sheen that it gets better, so he doesn't lose his sanity. Now, that's really all for me, so I'd like to thank Wet Sheen for re-inviting me, and I'll pass the torch off now.
Good on you, Leo. He's just consistently good at being in my videos. I think he's one of the more underrated people in the Wet Sheen family. But let's not waste time, on to Act 5. Act 5 steps up the quality by implementing more lane-type platforming, instead of a bum laser wall feature, which literally no one likes. Why the fuck did they add this if they give him a good idea in the slides? It's just so weird how touchable reality some devs can be. Just tell me, which fucker wanted this shit in the game? Like, I think the world would just be better without it! What the fuck is wrong with you? It's so buns, I can't even. But anyways, it's in the past. Act 5 is much better. And it's a great thing that they're realizing that they actually need to make a good game for us to play. Because we paid for it! But the level introduces a new type of platform, which we can use, which includes us grabbing the stick of a lollipop and swinging on it like a vine. I think this is a good change. Nothing too crazy, but starting to look in the right direction. I think it's a good, fun addition, and they aren't bullshit, and are weird to use the physics on. They're pretty well done. All in all, this level is pretty noticeable step up from the last level. I don't know why they're so inconsistent with dropping straight shit and then straight gas. But I hope it straightens out, because we can't keep going up and then down, up and then down. At least the other two games were shit and good respectively. Like, they didn't try and be something else. Act 6 is more of the same from Act 5. Instead though, we perform loop-de-loops on donuts like in Lost World's Desert Zone. And just for comparison, this world is much better than Desert Zone. I'm much more fucked with the orange color scheme than the rainbow vomit that Sonic Lost World made. Everything in that one was way too oversaturated. It made me want to like fucking chuck, bro. But in this game, the color's slightly above like saturation, but it works way too well. And this game came out literally before Sonic Lost World, so it has no excuse on why it's so much worse. Just more proof to feed that Lost World is an arse. Just more proof to feed the Lost World is arse allegations, which I totally feed into as well. Like, I know I had a whole arc on my channel defending it, but the arc was made all the more better when I realized that the game actually does fucking suck. They should put the Lost World arc on IMDb and rank it 9.9 because the first videos just suck that bad. I mean, hell, how many people realize that I changed the title to Explaining Sonic Lost World to Helen Keller? I mean, that's an awesome title, am I right? That's not the only one I've changed. It's such a niche video though, so no one cares. We have landed on another boss, so you know what that means? And yeah, I know, the viewership is about to spike here, because he's currently suffering from blue balls, he has Crohn's disease, and he keeps sending me this fucking gif every day. Give it up for Tarnix! Go on then, uncle.
Yeah! A wet Sheen video? Do I really have to come back and save this guy's channel for what, like the 9th time? I mean, the audience loves me from me talking about some I love you, man. They're tearing it to Chip. I've really done it all, but I've been brought back. Sheen begged me on his hands and knees to even ask the question if I can come back, and I decided, since I'm so humble, I'll not only come back, but I'll do some extra lines throughout. So what are you waiting for? Let's dig into it! Hey, easy white chocolate. Before we can begin the boss, we finally get a gut sheet scene showing Sonic searching for some aliens to save. And kinda just like pirate girl or something on a metal ship.
We got Scallywag him's head! Yes!
They're made of fucking scrap metal as well. What do you expect from good old Eggy Waggy after all? And off we go! We are thrown straight into the boss! Although you can't really call this a boss, because you didn't fight the guns on the ship. Instead, you have to dodge all the obstacles on the ship and push this lever at the end to crash the ship, which damages the guys on the ship. I don't know why these guys have control at the back of the ship. I can just crash them with the slightest nudge. We also get given Digtron for no reason. He's literally just there because he can. You know, when you dismount the ship, it kind of reminds me of another boss. Seems like an eternity ago. I miss you so, Mom. Kitty, sit down. Let me tell you a story. Before your time on this Wet Sheen channel, I can still remember your long extra sandwich with mustard in it. His name was So Mom, and he's the love of my life. But yeah, rinse and repeat 2 times and you've beaten the world's most buns boss. Actually, it might be better than the first one, cause the BOMB marker did that one, which automatically makes it the worst part of the video. I can like guarantee the audience retention goes to 0% when he begins his first sentence. No, but this boss only took 2 hits, which sucks. Correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm, you know, never wrong, so it doesn't matter. But Sonic bosses are usually known for taking more than 3 hits, like at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from what I've heard. So why are these bosses so bad and take less than 3 hits? They literally equal up to 3 hits in total so far. That's just sad statistics, man. The fall-off has been crazy. But once the boss finishes, you get another cutscene of Sonic, Tails, and Yacker. Who is this Yacker Dash? Get this joke actor out! If the game thinks I'm traveling all the way with some fucker named Yacker, I swear I will do things worse than what I've done to Chip. My boy Yacker is so lucky he only comes every few million years. Oh, but Yacker, he's been here all year round. He might explode after I'm done with him. I mean, come on, he's literally made to look like cum. That's gotta be a sign. Sonic and Tails begins his trying to discern decode whatever Yak is trying to say. Which, like, look at this wanker! Look, those little love handles instead of muscles. He will never amount to anything in his pathetic life. I hope to God he gets killed at the end of the story like Chip did. You have no idea how much I cheered when I saw that stupid red fucker die. So I'm not afraid to kill Yacker and make it look like an accident. I mean, who is this clown? This idiot doesn't even speak English. Why are we letting foreigners into this video? Okay, he's got one eye like Michael Wazowski. Pretentious motherfucker! I am so glad his entire species was enslaved for amusement park rides. That's how useless he is! All he's worth is an amusement park ride. He will never amount to anything else. His puny, pathetic, stupid, ugly, chopped up, fat, bloated life! He doesn't even care about Sonic or Tails. He is such a selfless piece of shit! I have zero idea what kind of hole he hibernated in, but he is a satanic fucking asshole! He just sits there looking like an idiot, looking so punchable and so fucking annoying. Well and truly, I hope you watch your species die out and you can repopulate because you're fertile. Because I'm sure he is. Fuck you, Yacker! Why are you named Yacker? Is it to sound like cracker? Like the food? Why are these cunts of characters naming themselves after food? They need to be humbled like the goat Mom. He didn't make his whole thing about food. He just eats with such elegance. Fuck. But these two fuckers are the worst thing we've seen in gaming as a whole. If these two are in the same game, I think we would skyrocket world hunger because of the sheer amount of lard and food they eat. Fuck this stupid fucking game. Why now would I want to be playing this? I am not done though. This stupid fucking game is gonna be so cliche. They're gonna keep this ugly motherfucker the whole time just for us to get nothing in return. Oh, but Tarnix, you're meant to be nice without expecting anything in return. Shut the fuck up, you oily piece of phlegm! Yacker, I'm gonna beat you to a pulp until you are begging for death. Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck Wetchin. Fuck.
Finally! He dragged that so long! I could feel the video got heavier when he started talking. That's how overweight he is. This world in conclusion was a bit of a step up from the last one, but not by too much. Some levels were mid, and Act 4 was just a disgrace to the Wetchin family. I can't believe I had to study that level. I had to sit there for literal minutes just watching as some fucker plays this stupid game. But let's move on to the next world. We've now begun Starlight Carnival, and instead of being greeted by a carnival, we're greeted by running out in the open space on this cool like neon holographic floor as appearing as we run on it. A good majority of the level is just us running on this, however, which could yes be cool to look at, but there's not a whole lot of gameplay going on. And last time I checked, we're playing a game! We'll run on this path for a solid 15 seconds, just for us to be in this factory and eventually exit on the other path and take us to a similar area. It's kind of like those space levels Sonic and Shadow play in the end of Sonic Adventure 2, but a lot more underwhelming due to this path only serving as a purpose to looking cool as opposed to playing cool. And yes, at one point the path widens and we can switch lanes on it and killing enemies and try and trip us. I'll give credit for that part because it's actually alright. I think if the whole path was like this, or a good majority of it was like this, I'd like it a lot more. Have a sort of alternative for the grind rush, since this world isn't likely to have very many if they're going to keep spamming this technique on us. I haven't even mentioned yet that there's a whole new wisp power in this level. It's the blue cube, and get this, it makes platforms for you to step on. But there's going to be predetermined areas that the game has chosen with the blue ring, taking away all the fun and function of it. If you're going to be a bastard about it, then you may as well make it more like the on and off switches from Mario games, because it seems to work a lot better if it's like that. It's literally the same functionality as it. If there's platforms there and you use the power, then it turns back to the ring. So it's just an on and off switch. What was the point in making this next to useless power? I don't really know. Look, it's not bad per se, but it's just doing too much. Especially since we've seen in the game that they love using button mechanics. So it seems like a no-brainer for them, right? Oh well. Act 2 is a short level, but for once, I think it's a good thing. The level takes place inside a shuttle ship of some sorts, and it's pretty vertical based, shining more light on the blue cube wisp. showing that it has secondary use that it's a whole lot more useful for. It's also able to destroy those generic metal blocks that we can see in literally every Sonic game, and always have a different way to destroy them. And this is this game's version, and it brings all the power. It brings the power up a few levels. It actually is a pretty normal use now. The rest of the levels focus on blue cubes, on and off ability for the blocks, which kind of sucks. And then it kind of abruptly ends. On paper, this sounds like another Rush level that's way too short. But honestly, I'm not too mad about it. If we ended up getting a longer version of the level, then it would just be spent using the fucking blue cube on and off ability for ages. I don't even understand how slow it is until you play this. Yes, I'm grateful that the level's pretty short, because it could have been much worse. And plus, this level served its purpose. It showed off the secondary ability of the blue cube, and got us more practice with the first one. It shouldn't have been a fully fledged level, yes, I don't think that. But I think it would have worked better as some sort of tutorial area, but not a full-on act. Act 3 throws a curveball and looks to be an actual normal level. You can see the beautiful space surrounding in the background with all the carnival rides lining up the sky, on top of the stars as well. And then we start using these new spring platforms. They're yellow and follow the speed of Sonic, staying perfectly underneath. And the level eventually turns into an auto-scroller for us to dodge things coming our way, as it begins to go up, down, left, right, the whole shebang. I think it's an interesting move to say the least. I really wasn't expecting an auto-scroller from this game, but I will say it actually works and fits pretty well. Well, as well as the Sonic Colors level could go, but I appreciate the effort. With the bar being so low and old, they could literally make the worst level I've seen in my life. It'd probably be better than Act 4 of World 2. It was that shit. The auto-scroll is a simple idea, but it makes all the difference, and a nice break-up from the rest of the game, since we've all we've had is platforming and speed-based things. It's nice to see that they chose our speed this time. I know that auto-scroller levels can be a real make-or-break kind of decision, but they seriously knocked it out of the park with this one. I can't even find anything bad about it. It just stands up by itself without wisp powers, it doesn't suck, and doesn't have any bullshit mechanics. It's just Sonic by heart with a slight twist. We have landed on another Act 4, and you know what that means? We'll be landing on another guest voice to do this one. And since she was so well received last time, we'll bring on Jess. Go ahead.
Hi, it's so good to be back. Last time I talked about the Eggmobile, or whatever it was called, and I've been asked again to reprise my role for this hour-long video. So what are we waiting for? Let's move on to Act 4. The level begins in the same sort of way as Act 2, being inside of this shuttle spaceship in the open vacuum of space. This level really lacks, in my opinion. It's about as empty as space itself. They spawn this one really nasty enemy that is literally a green ball that looks similar to a cheese ball, and it sits and finger blasts projectiles at you. It's so lifeless and shit. Why the fuck did they add this? Did they think this would be a good enemy to add? I can imagine a bunch of higher-ups sitting in a room and one of them goes, "Hey, why don't we add a green cheese ball that shoots green goo and has no noticeable features other than holes?" And they all cheer and shake each other's hands. Like, hello? What kind of sense does that make? There's also variants of the normal enemies who play trumpet. And as a fellow trumpet player myself, I can say that they play them horribly. Zero, and I mean zero songs require this much excitement, bro. This game just can't be serious. Every Act 4 has been so bad. Deza's one was way too short and literally had nothing to show for it. Leo's had a stupid laser mechanic that was painfully long and boring, and it happened again with this Act 4. It's like they choose to constantly fumble the Act 4 in every single world. History is repeating itself, and we kind of just have to deal with it. I thought this game would be good, seeing as so many people said it would be, but I guess that they were wrong. I'm definitely with Leo on this one, and you, the viewer, would be able to remember what Leo said. But, it's getting lost in my head, because I was supposed to be after him. That stupid fucking Tarnix, the fucking piece of shit he is, that unk, stole my spot like the cunt he is. Anyway, this game has been undelivering the entire time. Me and the others are sick of the game and being literal straight shit. This game really has to step in miles if it wants to be considered an alright game in the series. It lacks so much depth, and there is jack shit to talk about through so many of the levels. The game just randomly dips in quality, and every time we get to the second half of the world, it does the same thing, having an alright start, mid-second, good third, and then shit for the rest. It's like they are trying for this to be bad. What kind of audience do they think they're trying to appeal to? Because I know the stupid little kids who played this game when it came out weren't old enough to realise how shit this really is. It's like every reviewer of this game is just remembering the first time they played this game as a kid, because they can't all be serious about thinking this game is one that saved the franchise. Like, I guess the Wisps are cool, but they appear in so many games now, and they aren't able to be considered a unique feature to this game, and the levels don't deliver anything worthwhile. I bet if I asked you what the second boss in Sonic Lost World was, you'd know that it was a Zoomon. But if I asked you the name of a single boss in this game, you couldn't, because of how forgettable and short these ones are. Like watching the Sonic Lost World Hour special with Sheen makes it pretty clear that the bosses in the game sucked ass. If he reviewed one of the bosses, he would 100% say that these are worse. They don't even take more than 2 hits, but what kind of boss is that? But anyways, I've appreciated that I came back for another appearance. Bye.
Well said, Jess. She really tore right into the game's fundamentals, just like I would. But anyways, Act 5 is Among Us. It plays like Act 1, but a bit different. Having that same coloured path in space, except this time we don't actually watch it as if it's like a cutscene anymore. We're actually dodging lasers from these robots coming at us. I think this is a great change, because that's exactly what I wanted. It makes the level feel more complete. If they keep up like this, then they could maybe start to make a comeback for this game. But realistically, they probably won't, because they've scarred me way too many times, and it's only World 3. And I can't trust them again. But anyways, let's not dwell on stuff Jess already said. This level introduces a new wisp called Green Hover. He basically works the exact same as the Ghost Wisp, but he can go up much faster and can't go through walls. So he's like a party character in Garden Warfare 2, you know, because they have a drawback, but the party meter makes up for it. Anyways, I'm just yapping at this point. Act 6 is a real showcase of the new Wisp power. It shows off the secondary ability, which is being able to zip quickly in rows of rings. You know, like that one ability from Sonic Adventure 2 that Sonic gets in Metal Harbor. Wow, I've just realized that so many things are just ripped from Sonic Adventure 2 in this game. But the whole level, again, is vertical based and has us instead going down. And we're going back up with the Green Hover. Showing both abilities have that potential to be used really smartly. This reminds me a lot of Act 2, with showing off a Wisp power and being really short, except this one doesn't work as well, because the Wisp power is actually really good, so it leaves you craving more. And when you realise that it's about the same length as the Act 2 version, you kind of just get left unsatisfied. That's probably just me though, because I'm really just getting mad at these levels being so short. It ends abruptly and leaves me wanting more. If they simply just made the level last a bit longer, I think it could have done wonders. Though again, we fall victim to the devs being lazy. Though this isn't the worst culprit, at least the level is still pretty decent, just a bit short. The vertical base rising up is a good idea and it works perfectly for this kind of ability. We have now landed on another boss fight, which means we are introducing the next Wet Sheen cast member. This guy originates from New Mexico, he loves piloting, and who can blame him? Look how hot that beard is. It's Cooper! Let's go, Cooper!
Hello! Ilo Kirk genuinely decided to come back to Wet Sheen after only 1 second of thinking. I'm sure the audience is excited to see me back. Seeing as I'm basically famous at this point, now that I've unlocked the mystical pylon imp in Garden Warfare 2. God, I love pylon imps so fucking much. Automatically makes me one of the all-time greats in the Wet Sheen family. But enough waffling. Let's see what we've got here. It looks like I've been called to talk about Starlight Carnival's boss fight. But first, we get a boss fight that finally explains Eggman's evil plan. He's trying to use Wisp's energy to control the whole universe with a giant satellite, which is disguised as the park we are playing on. That's why it's in space. And we get put into the boss fight. And I'm not kidding here, this game might have made the biggest comeback in history. Because let me say, this boss is an absolute delight. We are fighting this huge space station and it actually throws attacks at us, shooting lasers as we dodge on this purple holographic pathway, like we've seen throughout this world. And we have to run up to him and begin to damage his eyes first. And get this, he doesn't die in 1 or 2 hits! It's a bloody miracle! And then, next, we grab some sperm-shaped wisps and destroy one of his cannons on his sides. And then, get this, the boss changes into another phase. We go to a side scroller and the machine drops a laser wisp power and we have to zip through its head, which is so cool. But that's not all. He keeps on persisting, throwing boxes at you, and occasionally, after dodging, he will drop another wisp power for you to charge through him. And after 6 hits, he finally drops. Thank you, God! That boss was great. It took more than 2 hits, it couldn't be explored to finish quickly, it changed its attack pattern occasionally, and we finally got a use for the wisp powers in a boss, because we've been using them the whole game, and they never get used in boss fights. It's been the biggest missed opportunity, and I'm so glad to see the devs finally remember that they actually have a reputation to uphold. I know that in literally every other guest appearance, they have all complained about how this game fucking sucks. But the game finally decided to make a good level. No, wait, hold on. It's not a good level. It's an amazing level! I can't get enough of it. It's actually pretty funny, because I got one of the only bad bosses in Sonic Unleashed. So it's kind of like they decided to throw me a bone for once. I love you, Sonic! This might be one of the best comebacks in human history. Better than Steve Jobs' comeback from leaving Apple in 1987. Just for him to come back later and make them billions that can fuck right off. And after this god-tier boss fight, we get given another cutscene for us to enjoy. Before we begin though, this really important conversation between Sonic and Tails, this stupid fucking idiot yakker decides he wants to be the center of attention again and says hi to Sonic! That's so out of line! Yakker! Do you think you were just allowed to interrupt Sonic, Maurice, Hedgehog? What kind of a person do you think you are? You dumb piece of shit! You not only look like sperm, but you're also annoying, dumb, and forgettable! I can guarantee you that nobody will ever remember Yakker's name unless they watch this video. That's how much of a stupid fucking chud he is! He thinks he's just so much better than everyone else. I'm just gonna calm down here for a second, you know. We should really just replace Yakker, the fucking dumb, ugly duckling, with the beautiful, mystical pile on him, the much more handsome and alpha male pick. It doesn't even matter that he's on a different game. He just goes where he wants due to his sheer aura. But anyways, I'm gonna calm down now. Back to the cutscene. Sonic and Tails find out that there are 5 generators, like in Dead by Daylight, split across 5 planets, siphoning and capturing all the wisps so far. We have destroyed 3, which is more than half, so we're doing a damn fine job. But we need to act fast and take off immediately to the next world. To be perfectly honest, my socks were blown clean off for this boss. I was expecting it to be complete shit this time as well, but the game decided to actually be good for once and create a peak boss fight and a pair of 2 equally peak cutscenes. I think this is the only good level in the game we can truly call good so far. But it's not all good. Yakker! Still the bane of everyone's existence. And hey, you know what? This might be a rare W for the game. Who knows? If it just goes back to what it was when it was mid to bad consistently, considering how many times they've done it, I wouldn't even be surprised. And if we don't see a good level like this until the final few levels, I wouldn't be surprised either. Anyway, I'll be passing the torch back to Sheen, but I'd like to thank him for doing all this. I can imagine it's not easy. So great job, Wet Sheen, and stay wet. See you guys hopefully later. Bye-bye.
Man, thanks, Cooper. I can't believe we actually got a good boss for once. Hopefully they keep up with this type of level for a while, because I'm getting sick of ranting through the whole thing. But now that we've beaten World 3, no longer do we have to play the linear world style. We could pick any world we want at this point. But let's just go in a clockwise direction and pick Planet Wisp. So Planet Wisp Act 1 begins with this massive open area and feels like a breath of fresh air. Gone is the mechanical areas and we finally get a natural looking place. It reminds me heavily of the wooded zone from Mario Odyssey. Having these massive towers to scale up with this forest-like section surrounding it and purple goo in the ground. I love it, like a lot. Plus the music just slaps here. Finally, I think we can move on from the mediocre first 3 worlds and move into a better second half of the game. Though, the game can always surprise me and become shit again, who really knows. But hey, we get another new Wisp power, which is like the pink spike. The pink spike sticks onto walls and ceilings for you to roll into. Yes, you become a spiky ball. This is peak gaming. I think this is by far one of the coolest Wisp powers. It's actually something unique and cool. It's one thing to make an ability to stick onto walls, but this one being a spiky ball is just a great idea. Plus, implementing Sonic Spin Dash was genius. It's like it was made for him. I think this has been the best start to a world by a mile. There's nothing for me to be mad at. Act 2 is a bit of a smaller version of Act 1, except it focuses more on scaling the towers. We get to play with the ghost power a lot more, and a small amount of the pink spiky wisp. This level is just full of life though. Having loads of secret areas to explore with the rings and extra lives, it encourages exploration and for you to take time in the levels. I think it was a good idea to do this. It's such a simple thing, but it can make all of the difference with these kind of things. But yeah, this level is just kind of an alright filler level. Nothing offensive, but not a whole lot to write home about. Since it focuses on a power we've had for a while now, it doesn't really appear scarcely. I would have liked to focus on the pink one a lot more because we just got it. Since that's what the last world did, and my reaction worked pretty well both times. Even if they were a bit short. This is about the same length, so it could have worked. Act 3 throws a curveball, because instead of embracing new stuff, it goes back to basics with bringing back some old Wisp powers, such as the cyan laser and the blue cube. I think this was an interesting idea, and I definitely didn't see it coming at all. But the question is, does it make it a good level? Well, no, not exactly. The level itself is pretty basic for what it is. We just go do the lane dodging thing for a lot of it, and the cyan laser we all know is just a filler technique in disguise, because all you do is line up to a diamond, and it plays a cutscene pretty much. And the blue cube was a pretty shit idea too, because just no one likes it. It's not a cool enough power for me to be interested. Why do they think it's such a good idea? It sucks. Why do they keep bringing it back? There's honestly nothing in this level that makes it worthwhile at all. They chose to bring like the 2 Wisp powers, which are cool, but it's the ones that they chose that weren't very good. Whatever happened to Digatron or Gibbleton? That would have worked way better in this level because of the natural grounds. I think they need to make a level based on the pink spike, since we've all gotten a little taste of it. I want a fully fledged level to show how it really works, like they've gotten in the past. Oh, it looks like we landed on another Act 4, so you know what that means? Another guest voice! This one's close to my heart. He's built like a cone with that big glut. I'm pretty sure he has a height condition and a foot fetish. Welcome to Bingle!
What's good, Wishing family? Sheen requires my expertise in shitting on Sonic games, and you know, it feels good to be back, especially because me and Cooper fall into that 6th and 7th guest voices. Sorry, I got a little excited there. But I finally get to enlighten you all on my opinions about Sonic Colors, since I am the 2-time winner of Best Guest Actor. So I'm going for a 3-peat. So, let's dive in. This level spends its entire runtime having to slowly work our way to the top of the mighty siphoning tower. This level can really make you feel small, which I would know because I'm a small person myself. Sheen, what the fuck is this? Ah, whatever. Let's keep going. This whole level feels very oil-made, in my humble opinion, and seeing the Sonic movie 3 times, what kind of idiot would do that? The whole level doesn't even last that long, and it just going on grind rails and watching the mini cutscenes every few seconds with the occasional open sections to break it up. This level is extremely disappointing, and it should be burned in hell with the worst things out there. What kind of poverty-stricken child do you think I am? This level is nowhere near my own standards for what it'll do. It's like a millionaire becoming a janitor. It's just something they're too rich for. I'm too good of a person to be wasting on this shitty level. This game is like a roller coaster. 1 minute it's decent and then shit and then amazing, then shit, and then good. Like, just make it just be either a shit game or a good game. Or you're even pushing it by trying to be a mid game. It's got all these stupid inconsistent levels. It's got forgettable storylines like characters like Yakker the Wanker. Fuck you, Yakker. Scratch the idea of this level going to hell because you just need to send Yakker to hell due to how much of a filthy fuck he is. He bathes in sperm, he looks like sperm, he's just sperm. His Domom's left overload and it became sentient due to his sheer aura and how dangerous he is. Yakker is just so punchable. If Chip is the worst thing in the world, then Yakker is the worst thing in the universe. But I don't know, they're kind of tied by how much of a cunt they are. Why do we even need Yakker? We have all the info we need to save the species. He doesn't do shit, he just tags along like the annoying cousin. Like, get a life, fuck you, Yakker. I hope you dry out and die in the vacuum of space. If you ever had a normal thought in your brain, it died alone and afraid. That's how much of a sizzly cunt you are. I don't give two shits of your species being enslaved to make underwear. You deserve it for how annoying and insufferable you are. Single-handedly, you have ruined the Wisp species due to how hated you are, trying to be a hero like Sonic. Hell, I even say Tails is more than a hero than your tubby, fat, lard ass. I hope there's a special place in hell for you, Yakker. I'm gonna whack at you in space, you dick. Matter of fact, go back to the day you crawled out of. The whole game economy is toward this fuck, and it's stupid. The game's such a bomb. What a chud of a game for not only being inconsistent, but also have one, if not the worst characters in fiction. The only redeeming part of this world is it looks nice. But that doesn't matter in the slightest. This game seriously just stepped it up because it's getting insane how much shit game this is turning into speed. We're nearing the halfway mark, and it's been painfully shit. I'm the only one that's got the balls to say it, but this game ruined Sonic. There, I said it. Because it set a new standard for all future Sonic games to follow in its footsteps. So now the games are mid and shit and fat. Because they don't try anymore until the game's fault. If you look at a game like Sonic Unleashed, that was clearly made with a lot of love and care, because the sheer amount of highs we had with that game, all shitty on Chip, the bosses being good, the story genuinely touching, and the gameplay being stellar as shit. This game wishes and begs to be half the game Unleashed was. I'm so mad, I can't even keep going. Damn!
It was nice to hear from Toe Bingle again. His Unleashed appearance feels like it got lost between the cracks if you think about it. I don't really remember it like at all. Hopefully this one was better than last time though. But anyways, let's continue on to Act 5. For Act 5, strap in. This level deserves zero mercy. Planet Wisp Act 5 is absolute dog shit. And I don't mean challenging but fair dog shit. I mean lazy, half-baked, mood-killing trash that feels like it fell out of a completely different game and nothing bothered to clean it up. First of all, it's short. Like, insultingly short. You boot it up expecting something, a gimmick, an escalation, a payoff, but instead the level just goes, oh, no, and ends before it even pretends to do anything interesting. It's not intense, it's not memorable, it's not clever, it's just a wet fart of a level. And excuses, purely to waste your time and patience. Second, there's nothing innovative here. Nothing! No cool mechanics, no clever twist, no satisfying flow. It feels like it's the same 2D bullshit. Platforms, spikes, crushes, it's a dampers. That's it. There's nothing but this shitty fucking bare bones level. It's like the devs ran out of ideas and said, just throw some hazards in there and call it difficulty. That's not a challenge, that's designed by Middle Finger. And let's talk about Sonic Colors as a whole for a second. Because this level exposes the game's biggest sin. Its quality is all over the place. One level is actually fun and well paced. The next feels like designed by someone who actively hates Sonic. Platforming and joy. I hate this game so much.
Do you realize something? Let me tell you.
The game can't decide if it wants to be a polished, creative Sonic experience or a fucking cheap 2D Rage Gauntlet. It feels like a bad ROM hack. It feels like every few acts of devs and just rolls the dice. Oh, this one's good, this one's boring, this one's shit, this one's great. This one is straight up arse. There's zero consistency, zero rhythm, no trust. No one can settle in and enjoy the game because you're constantly bracing yourself for the next bullshit quality drop. Planet Wisp Act 5 is a perfect example of why Sonic Colors is buns. Not because it's hard, but because it's uninspired, lazy, and pointless. It doesn't push the game forward at all. It doesn't test skill in a satisfying way. It just exists to remind you that, yeah, this game absolutely has its moments where it shits the fucking bed. In conclusion, Planet Wisp Act 5 sucks ass. It's shit, it's boring, and it's uncreative. And it perfectly represents Sonic Colors' worst ever. Being good 1 minute and completely trash the next. If you felt annoying playing it, congratulations. You're a fucking sane person. But anyways, let's move on to Act 6. This level's a mesh of all the features from the last few levels. Loads of grind railing, using the pink spike was finally, they gave us less of an ounce of it to try it, and they didn't let us use it till the second last level in the world. And the last one's a boss. What? It's just so dumb. The whole point is that we're supposed to be able to get used to it throughout the world, but they showed it in Act 1 and a bit of Act 2 to just cut us off. Like, you can't cut us off, man. That's messed up. But this level, again, it's just more filler. Over and over and over again. It's just filler. I'm actually losing my mind. It's so tiring and draining. It's by a great level, followed by an absolute lineup of shit, poo, and cock. For fuck's sake, I just want this game to decide if it's shit or good. Stop edging me and decide already. It's not only making me, but the entire audience confused as well. It's so confusing and giving me the biggest mixed signals of all time. Please, I'd rather be shit than mid. Anyway, on to the next boss we go. And since we have so many all-stars in this line, I think we need a big change of pace. So I'd like to humbly invite a new guest to the Wet Sheen videos. Welcome to Wet Sheen, Devorated. Yeah, his fucking shitty name. He's been here since the Lost World special though. He posted such a carefully crafted comment. And yes, we all saw it, Pla. Anyways, you can begin now, dude.
Hello, Wet Sheen family. It feels so good to be finally making my long-awaited debut on the Wet Sheen channel. I've been waiting in the shadows patiently for my time to come, and today is that day. The Wet Sheen family's ears have been blessed because they get to hear my tough, nonchalant, epic voice soothe them through Sonic colors. We begin with a cutscene of Sonic finding the generator and expressing how they've gotten harder to find the longer we've gone, and also expresses that the bosses have gotten harder to fight, which I guess is true. It's kind of a stretch in my opinion though. The last boss was brilliant though, so this one surely has to be pretty good too. And okay, I've been proven wrong, because it's literally the exact same boss fight as the first world, which if you don't remember, is the worst boss fight we've seen, since it only takes one hit to beat it, and that one hit is painfully easy to do. So it's just the same thing, but except this time, use the pink spiky wisp to hit him, and he drops dead immediately again. What a brilliant boss fight! I mean, why would they decide to do this? Like, firstly, they didn't even tweak the boss to be harder at all. Secondly, why would they just reuse a boss fight? That's so lazy and shouldn't be coming from a big game like this. Like, come on. Of all of the bosses to copy, they pick the first one? This move is unbelievably stupid and full of lard. The devs just keep fumbling the bag for literally every aspect of this game. I don't know what they expect people to react like, because there is no way anyone enjoys having such an unstable game that doesn't even know its own ranking on how good it is. Either make it polished or lean into the cheapness and faulty game. You can't just try to do a mix of both. It never works, and this is the biggest example of it. Fucking bullshit so many people love this game, because it is not possible. You just can't enjoy a game that is like this 24/7. There is zero breaks, and it doesn't even stay consistent on when it's going to be good or bad. Like, the entirety of the first world just sucked, except Act 1. Like, what? Same with the World 3. The whole world was decent, and then they casually just dropped the best boss fighting level in the game. It makes no sense. The game is so lacking, we all just keep repeating to ourselves, oh, this game isn't consistent, and all that stuff. It just shows how much of a shitbox this game can be. I guarantee you, after this world, it'll be a decent opening stage, followed by a great Act 2 and 3, horrible Act 4, because they just can't seem to get any of the Act 4s right, and then a mid-Act 5 and 6, followed by a shitty boss like it always is. It's so painfully annoying and mid. We are all sick and tired of this stupid game so far. We get a cutscene, followed by the shitty ass level. We see Sonic hallucinating and being schizophrenic toward the robot he just killed, bragging about how easy it was. Hey, the game is self-aware of how shit it can be with boss fights. And then Tails catches him and basically calls him a twink if you think about it. And that's it? There's no Yakka. Thank you, Lord, so much that my eyes didn't have to bear the crime of seeing Yakka the sperm-filled alien who's so annoying and full up his own ass. What, did he dry out finally? I love this so much that he's gone for now. I couldn't guarantee I would have kept it together if that smug little fucker was there. He just taunts you unknowingly, which is worse than being aware, because they don't even know they're being a bitch and a fob. This might have been one of the worst levels of all time. Words cannot describe how shit and unbearable it was for me and everyone watching. I'm so glad we are entering the back half of the game, because I do not know how much I can take at this point. The game just won't stop throwing the same mistakes over and over again. Instead of focusing on the core mechanics of the game, they've been spending the whole time sucking each other's shitty ideas off and glazing them more and more. It's getting so tiring and fucked. Fuck this game. Fuck you, Sonic. All of these years of build-up for a half-baked, shitty, unfinished game that they can't even stay consistent to the more bare-bones parts. I can well and truly say they have lost the plot, because it's just so comedic how badly they can fuck up a game like this. It's such a make-or-break game for the franchise, and they just shattered everyone's hearts and covered it up by like one fan saying they liked it, when there were probably some dumb little kid who has zero idea what he's talking about in the slightest. They then covered this up like a bruise, acting like the game doesn't suck, and acting like it was the game that saved Sonic, but I see the truth. They can't fool me. What the hell did they take me for, an idiot? I love Wet Sheen. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity, and goodbye.
Damn, he didn't really hold back. The rant was well needed. Very good, devorated. But let's move on. Devorated. But let's move on to the next world. Aquarium Park Act 1 reminds me exactly of Act 3 of Tropical Coast in Sonic Lost World. But better in almost every way. You know how my biggest complaint of that level is how there was a whole modelled city in the surroundings, but we never got to explore it as it was stuck on the stupid grind rail? Well, this level finally answers my prayers. It looks about the same as the Sonic Lost World one, and I'm a happy camper. It just takes on a Shogun Japan-like aesthetic, and I dig it pretty well. The whole level is spent with us just exploring around the city. I can say with a full heart that this is a nice change of scenery. I was getting sick of the land, so why not go underwater? The city has a nice vibe, the level's a little bit short, but enough for it to still be acceptable. It does lack a lot of variety, however. We still have these indoor sections where you have to beat up rows of enemies. It does get a bit stale seeing it so often. I hope to God the game can at least stay at this level, because I actually saw myself having a good time while playing it. Maybe I was just happy to leave the planet Wisp because of how weirdly made that world was and how structured it was. If I was to change anything about this level, however, I would most definitely add a new Wisp power for us to try. Since every other world has so new Wisp power, we just get to use it over the span of the world. And occasionally they cross over to others, but not too frequently. Act 2 likes to focus on a Wisp power, but no, don't be silly, it's not a new Wisp power, it's a fuck-ass blue cube again. It seems to appear more frequently than the little fucker Yakka. Look, it's not a huge deal, but I don't understand why they keep spamming this Wisp onto us like it's going to change my opinion on it. This shouldn't be a Wisp power, and that's final. It doesn't do enough for me to warrant to be picking it up. And the actual Wisp itself was pretty chopped. Until it's going to be there or be square, and he was not there. There is so much bloated and square head. What a geek. Get the fuck out of here. This level mini side scroller, and get this, the level occasionally has us go left. I know, revolutionary stuff here. I'm not sure if we can handle this pure aura of this level. Such a carefully big bang moment to especially change the direction of the for us. That's almost unheard of in games. Act 3 has us traversing on the sea floor, and we eventually get to go back up. The game brings back a Wisp I haven't seen in ages. Gibbleton! Or the orange rocket if you want to invest in the Wet Sheen lore. It feels so good to see him. I'm not really sure why, like he's just a Wisp. But since they mostly just spam the zippers up in the blue cube constantly, it's good seeing something different and older. Now, all we need is the Bigatron to come back. This level is great though. Everything from the visuals to the music is just unmatched. It runs for a good amount of time and has no boring mechanics. Bring it to one of the best Wisp powers. What even is there? Easily the best non-boss level in the game, because that Starlight Carnival boss genuinely had me healed me from quitting. Actually, no, scratch that. This feels better. This theme is nice, the music goes so hard, the Gibbleton power returns, you explore all the parts of the level like the seafloor to the houses above the water. And inside the context of these temples, I love this level so much. And what they should be aiming in every level, because the quality of this one is just so much to me. I don't even know how to process it correctly. I'm so glad I got to cover this level, because otherwise I'd be stuck foaming at the mouth in anger over this bad consistency. This level is 10 out of 10 no notes. Act 4 time, so we'll bring on another guest to say their feelings on the matter. And you probably won't be expecting this one, but it's Dry Drew. Yeah, he's not last this time. It feels weird, but take it away, Dry Drew.
Oh wow. It feels weird to not be the last one on this list this time, but alas, here I am. From what I've been hearing, this world has some hope to break the curse of each world having a bad act, 4, 5, and 6, because Sheen seemed really excited to finish that level. And now, it's all in the game's hand to not fumble the bag. And let me just say, they delivered like hell. This level is just as good, if not better than the last one. They completely shift our expectations and have the entire level put us in these underwater caves for us to explore to our heart's content. And guess who makes a return? Diggatron! Finally, Sheen's prayers have been answered, and guess what? He doesn't work the same as normal. Instead of digging underground like a drill, he works more as a propeller underwater now, which is such a cool way to innovate on an already great power.
Automatically puts the level up there because the bar has been lowered. We are slowly descending deeper into the ocean until we reach this underground pod that has drained its water, most likely there to siphon the wisps. But while we are running down, we start being chased by this massive purple machine, and it throws lasers and saws at us in hopes of tripping us up. You see, this is how you are supposed to do it. Not only have you engaged us into the game, you've done it in the most effortless way possible. Simply just adding an enemy chasing you down this pod, ready to kill you as soon as you sprint for your life to reach the pods at the bottom of the ocean. In some of the coolest cinematography I've seen in ages, this level is top tier, elite, best of the best. I have literally zero things wrong with it. It did everything right and in the best way possible. I felt myself smile throughout the level the whole time, just because of how enjoyable it is. If every level was like this, I'd understand the hype. But they aren't. I just hope that every other level going forward can be half the level this is, because this is a work of art. I can't put into words how to describe how good this was. Actually, I think I can. This level was like a triple bacon cheeseburger from McDonald's, or a Zinger box from KFC. If you don't know what a Zinger box is, you're missing out on the biggest pleasure in life. Me, Sheen, and Deza eat them regularly, and it's the best. It's a meal deal at KFC and contains the following items: the Zinger burger, chips, 2 pieces of fried chicken, boneless, occasionally 3 if you're lucky, a drink of your choice, and a gravy mash dip. Now, I know there's lots to take in here, but you need to start with the chips to get a feel for the whole meal, and you must dip them in the gravy and mash, otherwise you're a disgrace to the Wet Sheen family. And once you add the chips, now you unravel the crispy gift from God, also known as the Zinger burger. There hasn't been a single time in my life that I had a bad Zinger burger. Some mid ones, tons of great ones, but never a bad one. It's impossible to fuck up.
Oh man, I could really go for a Zinger box now. My first time eating one of those was truly something I can never get back. But anyway, Act 5 takes inspiration from a past level. I forget exactly which one it was because it was like so long ago, but the part they took from was making this whole level an auto-scroller, which, like I said, can be a very risky decision, but if done right, can be a massive smash hit for the player. And you'll be very glad to hear, it's a smash hit! Let's go, they're actually making a good world! I can't believe my eyes. I almost forgot what it was to like play a game that wasn't arse. This is 100% in the top 10 moments of all time. Not even kidding here, you have no idea how much it means to me for this fucking game to finally lock in and make games that don't suck a dick like a pussy. Fuck's sake, it only took them 4 worlds to finally get one right. But I couldn't be more happier, dude. All that suffering was worth it for this world being good. It doesn't even matter what Act 6 and the boss have, because it's almost impossible to fumble this lead now. Act 6 is just like Act 4, but instead of going down into the deep parts of the ocean, we actually hit land this time around, and play the level up there. Which I was not expecting. I love this, man, so much. The theme around this world is so interesting, and works well no matter what. And we get Digatron back! Thank you, Lord! Can we get much higher? So high! The whole interior and exterior of the buildings feel just like a fancy restaurant. They have mini fish tanks everywhere inside. I love this level so much. The music is great, Digatron is back, as well as the green hover. Life couldn't get much better right now. And we get to see a whole new way to interpret this world, this late in. What an amazing set of levels. They just decided to lock in, I guess, for this world. But I couldn't be more grateful for them doing this, because I needed this so badly. I think I was going to lose my mind if I had to keep repeating the same things over and over again. Which is the exact reason why I quit Epic Mickey. Because I had to keep monitoring the story of how Mickey was made and all that shit. I was going insane the more times I did it, until I literally couldn't take it anymore. And I was getting close to that point again, but this world just came in clutch with this all-star lineup of banger after banger after banger. I could not be more happier for the game. I know this game and I have had some ups and downs, but I'm so proud of this world, because it's something to be proud of. I feel like I'm a kid again playing Sonic, as he just does whatever he wants, being too cool to even care. So thank you, Sonic Colors. It would be pretty impressive to fumble this world, and what great timing, because we've got another guest star ready to take over. Now, someone has been missing from this all-star lineup, so let's bring him in. It's Rasco! He has a burst fade now, and he kind of bleeds yellow blood. You can start now, little bro.
Hello, Witchin family! It's now the next boss fight in Sonic Colors. Sheena has been yapping this whole time saying about how this world is really good. So I hope the boss can live up to those standards, even though this is a Sonic Colors game, so you have to expect the unexpected. The boss we'll be fighting today is the Admiral Jelly. Yeah, I'm not joking, that's the name. Moving on though, it begins with a cutscene of Sonic meeting up with the boss that we'll be fighting. It looks like a massive submarine in the shape of a fish, but what we're actually doing is fighting the machine inside of the sub, except it's not told until the boss fight starts. And speaking of the boss fight, here's how it goes. It plays like a kind of advanced version of the World's 2 boss, by having us making the submarine crash by breaking its controls, and then once we do that, the actual boss steps out and we have to chase him down with the Digatron Wisp. I like how Dry Drew said, this Wisp works as a propeller for us to use and go quickly in the water. It's interesting when things have a niche second use that isn't apparent in the beginning. It's such a twist every time, and it works especially well here because I don't think anyone was expecting for this to happen. But yeah, we chase him down and kind of run into him to deal a bunch of damage. And rinse and repeat this over and over again to finally defeat the 5th boss. Hell yeah. This boss was a bit on the simpler side, but that doesn't make it bad at all. In fact, I think it fits for a world like this. I mean, it was kind of impossible to fumble such a good world. I mean, that a string of great levels starting from Act 3 was a great historical feat that I doubt it will be topped in this game. Seeing as we don't have much of the game left, only one full world and then the final boss, it kind of sounds surreal. It feels not long ago we were at the halfway point, but now we sit here. I hope you enjoyed this video at this point. It can be pretty hard to stay engaged for an hour for a Sonic game, but jingle 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 jingle. Especially since no one in the guest lineup is all that big on Sonic. Hell, even Sheen isn't as big as he was on Sonic when he was.
Huh?
But he kind of did it because it was farmable, unlike the niche topics that Sheen would rather talk about. But I don't know what's going through his head. But he's the one and only. Though I know he works very hard on these videos, if you show him any gratitude for it, it will mean the whole world to him. Especially since no one really compliments on his videos, they kind of just comment on it. But it means more if you really say it. Anyways, I better hand it back to Sheen. Thanks for listening to me ramble about the deep fundamentals of wet sheeting, and I hope to see all of y'all again. Bye bye! Jingle jingle for more engagement. Jingle jingle.
Thanks, Rasco. It really is crazy how we're almost at the end of the game already. This has been all going a bit too fast for me. But all in all, that was easily the best world in the game yet, and probably will stand as the best world throughout the entire game, unless the next one can top it. Though, what are the chances of that? So let's move on to the final full world of the game, Asteroid Coaster, which is a really huge curveball. The setting in this world are these volcanic sets of planets, and you can basically infiltrate each one as you're going, homing, attacking across rubble piles of rocks. It's awesome how the game gives us all these new experiences to try in this world. There's parts of your gravity that reverses and makes you go on the roof. There's platforming, the new Wisp power. Yeah, there's a new Wisp power, and it's called Purple Frenzy. Or it goes by another name, which I will be saying very carefully. It's called Nega Wisp. N-E-G-A. Not the N-word, I promise. Though, we'll get to the N-word wisp soon enough. For now, let's just call it Purple Frenzy, which is able to eat all the enemies and obstacles, which makes it grow bigger. This is definitely the most unique power in the game. I wouldn't expect them to give us an eating wisp, but of course I'm here for it because, oh lord, I love food. I mean, you can't just hand me a wisp that's only powers eating things and expect me to hate it. It's just not the way the cookie crumbles. But I love this level. It has a perfect mix of new mechanics that aren't overdoing it and complicating the level. I'm sure they'll expand on these new mechanics in the next few levels. Act 2 is actually one of the first hard levels in the game. It features a lot of practice for the gravity switching mechanic we saw, and you're going up around this massive space station, and inside there's upside down gravity places, so once you enter it's just a load of hard platforming with blocks that move in and out on a pattern. I think this was a good move for them to finally challenge the player, because if you don't know what you're doing, I could see you getting stuck here for a bit due to the amount of precision you have to get past this massive gravity area. And yeah, I guess we also get a bit of a try with the Purple Frenzy again, but it's about the same as last time, and they already kind of spammed it in the first level, so I don't think they need to overdo it too much, otherwise it will wind up becoming stale and shitty to use. And I don't want that. I want this game to succeed and make the biggest comeback ever with its levels. Act 3 is a short one, but it utilizes its time in a pretty okay way. It brings back two wisps, and I already know what one of them is going to be. The blue cube! And hey, it's the pink spiky one! No way it took them 2 extra worlds for them to bring it back and build upon it. It was about damn time, dude. What the hell were they thinking? The whole level can either be done with the pink or blue wisp. The blue wisp is obviously the most boring part because you just make platforms and be done with it. But the pink one is actually interesting. With the pink one, you need a platform onto walls and roofs and go all the way around to hit the end ring from the opposite side of where the blue one would be. I think this was a sick idea for them to test out. Having 2 different pathways to end both differing in skill, I think it was a good call for them to do it. Not surprisingly, most kids probably pick the blue path because the pink one is actually a bit hard. Though, it's the thought that actually counts for something, right? I mean, it's a good addition for anyone who's doing a massive review of this game, going in depth for every level and ranting over the smallest things. But I mean, what's the chance of someone doing that? Okay, since the Act 4 isn't really a level, I'm going to skip over the guest appearance because that would be unfair. Because this level is literally just Sonic running on Saturn's ring, killing 5 to 7 enemies and then winning. It lasts around 7 seconds if you pace yourself. That's so fucking lazy. But I'm so tired at this point that I don't even have the energy to rant. So I will say this though, Fuck you, Yaka. Act 5 begins with Sonic and Tails finding Eggman's supply of all the wisps he stolen. And it looks to be thousands. So Sonic runs down to go to the actual area because they saw it from afar. The whole level is basically us going up, which doesn't really make sense because the supply was below them in the cutscene. So shouldn't it be Sonic going down? It's not a huge deal, but this is like SpongeBob level of retconning, Joe. I can't believe my favorite guy, Sonic Maurice Hedgehog, would do this to me. But yeah, the level doesn't last that long. I mean, they can't keep dragging the final boss for that long. They have to get through it quickly. Act 6 is just the devs throwing literally anything they can at you to make it hard. They also have had enough of the game, and it's basically a massive gauntlet of you traversing the tightest platforming I've seen in a while. I can't believe they would have done this. Also, I forgot to mention this, but in Act 1, this and Act 1, they both begin with you sitting inside a roller coaster for some reason. It's pretty cool, but it falls flat because it's a bit useless, isn't it? We're at the third final boss now, and we have our final guest star of the video. Well, actually, that's what I would say if there was one. Yeah, do you think someone like Wetsheen has that many friends? So anyways, let's get on with it, or whatever. And guess what? This whole build-up and this boss was just the third boss done all over again. I mean, we really should have seen it coming. The last 3 bosses have just been the first 3 in order again. Oh golly, silly me! How could I have been so naive? I like to think that I'm very good at the work that I do, and luckily for us, I happen to be a specialist in getting mad at Sonic Colors. Lucky me! But seriously, why do they keep doing this? The game has just spent the last world and a half building up this hope that they made one of the biggest comebacks ever, and they just do this shit? Like, what the fuck, dude? This big fat oily excuse for a game thinks you can get away with things like this, but we all know this is not on. Like, what are we even supposed to say? The game lacks basic neurons to even make the boss at least harder than the third one, but no. It's just a reskin for us all to get annoyed at. Like some incel shitty and dirty foreskin. Foreskin big enough to use it as an umbrella. That's how much of an incel this game is. None of us can even cope with the tragedy that is Sonic Colors. This game feels like a fucked up storybook that has a bunch of pages scribbled in. Like, yeah, some of it's still good, but the vast majority is a steaming, hot pile of shit. It gives you absolutely hot, filthy shit for a level, then gaslights you into thinking it will change. But then does, but only for a small amount of time. It never lasts for a reliable amount of time. Which leads to the main reason why so many people in this game hate the community. Why so many people in this community hate the game. Hey, even Chris Chan liked it. That's gotta be a good sign, right? But no, all these people are just remembering the good parts of the game. They weren't focusing on the shit levels because they were way too short. That's why a lot of levels are shortest, because a lot of them suck. And the ones that don't have a decent length. It all makes sense now. They were self-aware of the shitty levels, so they made them shorter than Tobingle. But they made the single digit amount of good levels long so people will remember them fondly. And it worked hook, line and sinker. Everyone glazed this game to the ground. Anyway, let's just move on, because I fucking hate this. I'm speechless. I guess let's just keep going. We get a cutscene that seems to show the end of the game. Sonic has freed the Wisps and all the bosses are defeated. They all begin to have a party on their victory in the first half world. But Eggman still has some juice left to shoot the Earth with his mind control ring. But since he's such a fat fucking chud, he misses and hits the moon. Though, it's making everything shake and the Wisps are running in fear, making the space station break down and it's going to explode soon. So Sonic and Tails rush off, running down the elevator they got up with. And we get thrown straight into Act 1. The whole level is us sprinting to make it to the escape pod we came up to the park with. And the enemies who are also trying to escape are running as well. Though they still are robots, so they prioritize killing Sonic first. The level's pretty basic, but paired with the stakes right now, it makes up for it completely. You're on the edge of your seat as you're running before the ship explodes. And the level ends pretty quickly. So we get a cutscene of Sonic and Tails meeting Eggman's final form, Nega Wisp. Yeah, that's really its name. And no, I'm not saying the N-word. I'm saying N-E-G-A, Nega. Not, you know. But Tails and Sonic both know Eggman's combined powers of the Wisp will make him way too powerful. So in the last ditch effort, Sonic sacrifices himself for Tails, sending him on the escape pod while Sonic stays back to fight Eggman. And we begin the fight. The fight is simple on paper, but is way cooler when actually playing it. We're chasing after Eggman and have to attack his tentacles, followed by his visor, then his heart. While we're chasing him down, he will shoot these lasers at us, which form a triangle, though our attacks are still useless. Though, we are able to strike some luck. Sonic manages to free one of the wisps and makes his hit slightly more powerful. And it basically becomes a domino effect at that point. We free more and more until we have united every wisp except the purple one, because that's the ones that Eggman's using the most. For one final push, we unite every wisp, spinning in a circle and all entering Sonic at the same time to finally hit Eggman into outer space. Finally, oh wait, no, it's not over. The game lowers your guard by making you think we won, but not yet. The ship implodes and forms a black hole. At an incredibly tough moment, Sonic brushes off and begins to outrun the black hole. What the fuck? And this has to be one of the coolest final levels of all time. Even if it is decently short, dodging the wrath of a black hole while you're alone in space, not even Eggman is here anymore. But Sonic begins slowing down and realizing he cannot outrun it. And accepts his fate. He's gonna die a hero. But it's not over yet. Suddenly, the wisp grabs Sonic and protects him from the black hole, carrying him safely all the way down to the exact same spot Chip died in Sonic Unleashed. With Tails waiting there. And before we can celebrate our win, Yakka comes to ruin the party, so we get forced to high-five him, and the wisps go home to their planets. All is saved in Sonic colors. And Sonic is left with Tails. They both reflect on what's just happened, and share a kiss. And that was Sonic Colors. Thank you all for watching the video. I know I always say these things, but Wet Sheen is literally my proudest achievement. Making these videos we all watch is beautiful. And to show my abilities to make these hour-long specials for you, I really hope you enjoyed this one, because I sure did. But what's the final verdict? Is Sonic Colors a good game that lives up to the hype? Fuck no. We were in search for a great Sonic game, but we managed to find a mid game. I don't care what anyone says, it's better than Lost World, but nowhere close to Sonic Unleashed. So now we've looked at a shit Sonic game, a great Sonic game, and a mid Sonic game. Where do we go from here? I don't know. I kind of plan these videos like a week in advance and kind of just make them. I don't really think of my future plans that far forward. But I do know I do want to make more of these videos if I can. Uniting all my friends together to make these vids is why I do it in the first place. Just for the love of the game. And with that, goodbye, Wet Sheen family.